Rabbeinu Yonah in Sharei Teshuva. So he says, number 9, the ninth reason why a person should not delay doing Teshuva, right? As Hillel said, Im lo achshav matai, if not now, so when? He says, when a person's beimei zikna be'eder koach hargashot, person gets old, the intensity of his emotions is diminished. He can no longer muster the strength to forge new paths in his heart, to organize new ideas to battle his evil inclination, and to attain virtues. And he doesn't have the energy and he doesn't have the energy to toil and labor in the study of Torah, the performance of good deeds. Right? So he says it's much harder to do teshuva when you're older. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Kmosh katuv, as it says in Kohelet, King Solomon says, "Uschor et borecha b'mei bechorotecha." Remember your Creator in the days of your youth. Before the days of evil come and those years arrive, which you will say, "I have no desire in them." Right? You ever met the classic old grumpy man who hates everything? These kids. My back. This davening. This food. The world. Everything seems to be not good enough for him. Right? As the King Solomon says, he reached the days where it's called the days of I have no desire in them. Right? He hates the world, he hates himself, he hates everything. Why? Because he thinks things should improve, but he has no koach now to improve anything. He has no koach to change himself, no koach to change his wife, no koach to change his habits. He is the way he is, So therefore, King Solomon says, don't wait till that day. It's too late. You gotta start when you're young.
It's harder when you're older to fight the Yetzirah.
Definitely. Why? Number one, yes, you are wiser, but a lot of times fighting Yetzirah takes physical strength. You have to physically fight yourself. And it's much harder when you're older. You don't have so much energy. And usually when you're older, you have way more stress than when you're younger. Because you have a lot of responsibilities sitting on your head. You have grandkids, you have your kids. Your kids are already much older and they have bigger problems for you to deal with. You have more health problems. You have a lot more things to deal with than you used to have before. When you are a young guy, what does a young guy have to do already? A young guy has to wake up on time. A guy has to go to work or has to go learn. What bills does he have to pay? Everything's basically almost paid for him. He gets the salary. Okay, so I have to pay for food, maybe a little gas, buy clothes. That's it. What else do I really have to pay for? Is there some tuition I have to pay? Is there some weddings I have to make? Is there some doctor that I have to go pay for all my kids all at once? I have to buy shoes for everybody all at once? No, there's no big expenses really hitting my way. So what stress do I have already? Okay, maybe I have the stress of guarding my eyes and not hanging out with the wrong people. Yeah, it's a little stressful. What to do with my time? Not being bored, doing the right thing. Yeah, that's a little stressful. But it's not major stress like an older middle-aged person. So therefore, you have a tremendous amount of time and effort available, energy available to fight the Yetzirah. So focus on that. And what does the Yetzirah do? Nah, I have time. When I get older, listen. That guy, right? It says by Rav Galinsky says that the Jewish people when they're Har Sinai, right? He said to them, if you accept the Torah, good. If not, over there will be your burial. He took the mountain and he hovered it over them. He says, if you don't take the Torah, over there will be your burial. Why does it say over there? It should say over here. So he says, there's some people who use the word sham. Some people say, yeah, Rabbi, when I get married, I'll change, I'll stop, I'll this, I'll that, it'll become serious, Right now, let me be a little bit of a buffoon. Let me be a little bit of a silly guy. Waste my time, do this, do that. Be lackadaisical. Then he gets married, and then he says, Rabbi, listen, Shana Rishonah, you gotta enjoy, we're young. So when I have my first kid, then I'll, become serious, and I'll really, blah, 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 blah. And then he has his first kid, listen, he's still a little baby, what does he know already? When he goes to school, oh, it's only kindergarten, then he only goes to 8th grade. When he goes to 8th grade, Rabbi, when he goes and he graduates, like this, so on and so forth. They'll see the 70-year-old guy, he's still the same way. Listen, So this guy is always over there. When I get there, I'll change. When I get there, and then he gets there, then he moves the stick farther. He goes, no, over there, no, over there, no, over there. Says Rav Galinsky, and that's why Hashem said to the Jewish people, if you don't accept the Torah, if you don't change now, over there, saying over there, that word there, that will bury you. It'll bury you. You'll stay buried. You won't change. You'll stay the same. The Yetzer Hara will kill you with the word over there. Therefore, it befits a person to hurry in obtaining deliverance for his soul, engaging in service of Hashem without delay. As it says in Tehillim 119, I hasten the night, do not delay to keep your commandments. You know, in the sports, there's a shot clock. You know, there's a shot clock. You can't just keep the ball forever. The life will take the ball away from you. You gotta make your move now, or else the buzzer will go off, and then the other team will get the ball. That's it. So Ger says, no, I have time. What? Just hold the ball. Why should I push myself and make a whole play and force myself? Just stay where I am. I'm comfortable. I like it. Time will run out, and when you want to make a move, it'll be too late. Bless you. Says the third shar. So that was about the importance of doing Teshuva. Now let's talk about the actual things we have to do Teshuva from, right? Teshuva about. And these are each he's going to go and list the severities of each sin and speak about a little bit about each sin and why we do Teshuva from all of them. Okay, number one, he says over here in the first chapter. So now we know how important it is to do Teshuva. We have to go through the sins that we did. After you do complete search of your actions, you know what sin you did. So you have to examine the severity of each sin, because it says, let us search and examine. What does it mean, search and examine? If you searched, I know what sins I did. Okay, I do this sin in the morning, I do that sin in the evening, I do this sin in the afternoon. Okay, but what does it mean? Nachkora, you have to examine. Or examine. I already did search, I found the sins. No, you have to examine each of those sins and know why it's bad for you. A guy says, yeah, Rabbi, I don't pray mincha. So what? What's the big deal? At least I pray shahri. At least I put the tefillin. So what? I don't pray mincha. He said, listen, do you know what mincha is and why we do mincha and how severe mincha is and who got answered in the time of mincha? What does it correspond to? No, I don't know. He said, of course, if you don't know, you're not going to do it. Of course. If a person doesn't know the health benefits of eating the vegetables, he doesn't know the health benefits of exercising, a person doesn't know what happens if you drink Coke all day, of course they're going to do all these bad things. You're not going to exercise, you're not going to eat vegetables, and you're going to drink Coke all day, and you're not going to realize what you're doing to yourself. So only when you examine, you see the severity of each thing, then you're going to start doing it, right? Imagine you go and you tell a guy, you see this Rashar meal, this costs $175,000. What? Looks like a plastic toy from China. Why do I have to pay $175,000 for this watch? No, you don't understand. It's a this, it's a that, it's unique, it's one-on-one, blah, 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 blah. All the celebrities wearing So what? I have to explain you the severity of it, right? I have to explain to you what's so special about it. Then you'll start understanding a little bit of why it demands such a price. But you tell a guy who doesn't know nothing from nothing, of course he's going to be like, this is a joke. Why would I want to do this? This is nothing. Don't speak to me. So therefore, that's why you have to go and get the severity of each sin in order to be aware and start being committed to it. He says you should know, not all sins are the same. Right? There's some sins, their severity reaches the very heavens, and there's some in the terrible evils that equal a large amount of grave sins. But Teshuva is Gedolah, Teshuva is so great that we can go and change our ways. When a sinner realizes the enormity of the sin that he committed and severity, his gava spirit, arrogant spirit will be broken, right? A lot of times, why do people not like to hear, oh, this person who does this, he gets that punishment, he has to come Gilgul, he has to go to Gehenna. People don't like to hear that all the time. Why? Because their arrogance cannot stand it, that that's what's going to happen to me if I continue doing those things. I'd rather not know. Rather, don't tell me, Rabbi. The person has to know that you need to have fear of heaven. You need to know that the severity of the sins, because you can't lie to yourself. You can't, be in La La Land and think that nothing will happen to you. A person has to know that we have to become humble before Hashem, and Hashem He's our Father in heaven. He tells us what to do. We have to listen. He says another benefit of studying the enormity of the sin is that it'll cause you Lachasot klima panav b'shelat mechila. It'll cause you to come humbly and humiliated before Hashem for forgiveness. And the way you ask is the way you get forgiven. Salachti kidvarecha. If you come humbly with humiliation, then Hashem will give you the full forgiveness. He says, okay. Therefore, that's why we have to study this chapter, and we'll start with the rabbinic mitzvot. Usually, the rabbinic mitzvot. People say, it's rabbinical. It's the rabbi. It's not a big deal. But he ends off with the mashal. He says that there's a man who wanted to travel to a certain city. The people told him that road to the city is treacherous and dangerous with thorns and snares, stumbling blocks. And what? He says, but I need to go. I'm going to go despite the obstacles. Right? I'm going to go around those obstacles. But if people tell him there's a lion and your life is in danger, so then surely he won't go down that path. Right? So the problem is the same thing with us. We think that, okay, don't worry. I tell the guy, listen, you're not allowed to do that. It's a big sin. Don't worry about it. I'll be okay. I'll be fine. I don't need the bracha. It's okay. Right? He thinks he only thinks there's thorns and stumbling blocks over there. But I'm telling you, no, you don't understand. There's a lion over there. You don't know the severity of the sin. You don't know what the sin is going to do to you. And then if he would know, then he would run away. Baruch Amen.